72. I am Oden, and I was born to boil. So we start out exactly where we left off, where with Shinobu actually yelling at the people still, saying that it's been Oden keeping you safe, and the people are realizing that they were wrong, and that's making them look foolish. And then in the next panel, we have Okiku, or Shinobu, not Okiku, sorry, Shinobu being captured by the Obi-Waban group and having all of them surround her and grabbing her by the arm, saying, "I'm sure you knew that speaking up would come at a great cost." Telling Shinobu that she knew she spoke up, she would be dead. She would be killed. She'd be executed. And Shinobu said, "I am one of Lord Oden's vassals. No one, I had the same fate as them, and we will survive." Challenging everyone. And then you have civilians begging for Oden to survive, begging for Lord Orochi and Lord Kaido to spare Lord Oden and his vassals. And right as they're starting to beg, arrows start flying out of where we have no idea we don't know where yet. Just that there's an archer, and he shoots all of the civilians asking for Oden to be spared right in the heart. Shoots all of the civilians in the heart. No chance that they survived. And Orochi's just sitting there scowling at them and scowling at the pot. And then we get the narrator comes up saying, "The crowd is instantly understood the threat a madman bent on revenge posed to them," saying that they knew that Orochi was only bent on revenge, that no matter how much they spoke to him, that he didn't care. In D&D terms, you can say he's chaotic evil, like the Joker, saying that he wants chaos for chaos. Doesn't matter what you offer unless you're offering more chaos. That's the only thing that Orochi wants. He just wants more chaos. Well, after that, we get people trying to run, but then they realize it's too late because the entire crowd's been surrounded by people loyal to Orochi, which I still don't get how people in Wano are loyal to Orochi. That yes, he's the shogun. Yes, you have honor in protecting the shogun if you're a samurai, whose job it is to protect the shogun. But the shogun just said, "I don't care about any of you. I want you all to die. I want this whole country to burn." I don't see how people would still be loyal to him, as well as not just Orochi's men, but Kaido's men as well. You're surrounded by the Kaido of the Thousand Beasts Pirates crew, but people try to escape and they can't. But they can't stop the word of what's going on with Oden. We get a new source of news delivery in Wano Kuni at this time frame. It's called mail arrows. Apparently, they wrap up the mail around the arrows and shoot them, like what they did in Robin Hood. But it seems like these arrows can shoot farther and longer because the narrator about saying they shout the urgent news to various countries of the land. The letter arrows of Wano cross great distances to send a message. So I don't know if they shoot, it hits somewhere, the guy picks it up and shoots again, kind of like the Pony Express we had back in the Old West. But that's what I would imagine it being. But I do not know unless you have someone with a devil fruit power that's able to make arrows shoot farther. Kind of like Van Deckerman, but Vander Deck only could throw things where he touched, so you have to be able to touch something and then go. It doesn't make a lot of sense at that point. Then we go back to Oden. Oden is still in the boiling pot of oil, holding up all of his vassals. And it states that the oil is now boiling, what does it say? Has passed 700 degrees, which is amazing because if you actually think about it, the flash point for most cooking oils, which I believe this is around 650 degrees, which means the oil is starting to self-combust. That means the oil is starting to catch on fire because it's so hot. It's so hot that it's catching on fire on it's self-igniting. And that means Oden is not just standing in boiling oil, but he's standing in boiling oil that is turning to fire. And his vassals are there cheering on Lord Oden, hang in there. Please do what you can. And then you have the crowds cheering for Oden now. Lord Oden, please survive this. And then and then the vassals are like, oh, now they care? After everything that y'all have been saying, how you were joking about him calling the Fools Lord, the Lord of Fools, basically, because all of his naked dances, and now you care now that you know he was saving you? And then Denjiro's just like, ignore them, let them speak. And while his Lord Oden's vassals are kind of being amazed by the how switch of hearts about what everybody's doing, Lord Oden, in the boiling pot of oil that's catching on fire, says, "Thank you all. I will preserve," saying that even though he's in pain, being burnt alive by fire and oil, he is still thanking the crowd and the people of Wano for their cheers and for their support. And then you see people saying he is so appreciative. He's dying. He's being boiled alive and burnt alive, and he's still being very appreciative and very kind to the people who were making fun of him not too long ago. Then we get a close-up on his arms holding up the wood plank, which I still believe is well over 3,500 pounds, probably closer to 5,000 pounds. He's holding up. His arms are bleeding and cracking. Think about it. He's been in boiling pot of water or oil for probably around 10 minutes now. No matter how hard your skin is, it's going to start getting cooked. Your skin is getting cooked and fried. He's becoming a pork rind. Pork rinds are pig skin that is deep fried and served with different seasonings on top. He's basically becoming a pork rind himself. And I can't imagine how painful that is. I've spilled hot boiling water on me, never got oil on me, and that burnt and hurt a lot. I can't imagine how much oil over 700 degrees Fahrenheit hurts on your naked skin. This is a hard chapter to read. This chapter is basically all about it is the death of Lord Oden, but it is drawn out in a way that makes me hurt, makes me feel bad for him. And I know Oda likes to make your villains kind of relatable. How he made Big Mom a kid who was left alone. How Doflamingo was someone who went from riches to rags, and then hated everybody who hated him and won revenge. Katakuri was made fun of for his big mouth, so he beat people up, and then they almost killed his sister Burley, and he ended up going on deciding that he'd never be beat again. All of that is relatable. But Orochi just being, oh, I just want to destroy everybody who ever wronged me. Kind of like Doflamingo. Oh, but he's doing it in such a way that I can't relate to it. I can't empathize with Orochi. I kind of want Orochi to be thrown in a pot of boiling oil after this chapter. But sorry for that tangent. Let's get back into it. And then Oden standing up tells everybody his dream. Tells everybody that he wants to that when he's done with this, when he escapes this execution, he will open up the borders of Wano, because in one day, within 20 years, or that because of what happened 800 years ago, the Kozuki clan closed the borders of Wano. And we find out why. It's because of the world government. The Kozuki clan closed the borders of Wano because the world government was getting more powerful, and they did not want the world government interfering with Wano, which I believe we all figured at one point or another. Hey, Bella and Nitro, what's up? So those are my dogs, Bella and Nitro. Bella's one on the bed. Nitro's the one who's over here. But we find that out, and that he figured that out at Laughtail. That he found that out at Laughtail, and that he wants to open the borders to basically, by opening up the borders, he believes that he can change the world with the help of the reincarnation of Joy Boy, which we all know to be Straw Hat Luffy, but he knows that it's his dream to open up the border. And then we get a few time skips coming up. We have 30 minutes left. By this point, it is even the heat is lethal of the blaze, and Orochi is ordering everybody to put more wood on the fire, heat it up, make it hotter, turn the heat up. But Oden did not die. He survived the increase of heat. 10 more minutes. It's been 50 minutes in boiling oil. Everybody's yelling, is he impervious to heat or something? Then we get 1 minute. The crowd is cheering. 10 seconds. Lord Oden's face is stoic. His eyes are widened over. He has a scowl on his face, staring right at Orochi. 3 seconds. 1 second. And he survives a whole hour in boiling oil. Flaming oil, self-combusting oil. He withstood the boiling, and everybody's cheering that Lord Oden won. But he knows something is not right. Oden does not smile. He does not stop staring at Kaido and Orochi. And the crowd's cheering that for him, telling Kaido, you are in for it now. Oden's going to kick your butt. Oden's going to take you down, Kaido. Kaido doesn't flinch. Kaido does not. Kaido's and Oden's eyes are locked in on each other. Nothing can distract them. All of the vassals are excited. And then all of a sudden, the crowd jaws drop. All the cheer and happiness that was in the air dies. It just turns to a surprise as, surprise, Lord Orochi is not trustworthy. He says, I changed my mind. I altered the sentence to death by firing squad 1 minute ago. So, you didn't survive your execution for an hour. You survived it for 59 minutes. But now let's see if you can survive this. And then Oden says, do it for me. Open Wano's borders. And he throws the lid with all of the vassals on it. And he says, run to Curry. Shinobu starts running. Raizo, all of them are running. They break their chains with their bare hands. Probably because the chains are weakened by the heat. And they're definitely, we know that now that they're not sea stone cuffs. And so if it was sea stone cuffs, the people with devil fruit abilities would not be able to move. And then we start getting flashbacks of everybody with Oden. We see how all of them meet Oden, all their favorite memories of him. Danjiro meeting him for the first time, deciding to follow. And then we go to Kaido, saying that your body is already dead, that he'll help him put him out of his misery. Exactly what I said, that everything that from the chest down that's been in the boiling oil, gone, dead. He probably cannot feel it. It's probably burnt all the way through. He's probably just standing there, and then once he probably moves, it'll probably just snap in half. And Kaido pulls out a double-barreled flintlock pistol by the looks of it. It's not double-barreled like this, but it's double-barrel side by side. It's a side by side, not over and under, for those who know what that is. And Oden smiles, a very excited smile, like, even though I may die, my will not, because you're underestimating the power of Wano Samurai. And all of the vassals are running. We have Okiku eating. We have Raizo being introduced for the first time. We have all of them, Ashura Doji, meeting him and how they love him, how they adore him, how they would do anything to save his life, but they can't save his life now. And then we see Oden standing in the boiling pot of oil on fire, and Oden's pointing the gun. And Oden's last words are, "How upright of you built your strength while you can, for I am a story to accompany your drinks. I'm Oden, and I was born too." He takes the pose, and as he stands the pose, he gets executed by Kaido. Right there, dead center. We have the people of Wano, looks like they're singing or yelling, "Born to boil." It erupts throughout the capital. Crying, people are playing instruments, songs are playing, and so ended a legend. But that's not where the chapter ends, actually. We actually get to meet or see what happens with Lady Toki. And we get to know that Oden says, "If I die, you have to use your powers for me." In 20 years, Joy Boy's uh, reincarnation will come. He will muscle his way into Wano and open the borders and turn the world on its head. Please, Lady Toki, do this for me. We get a flashback of Oden giving her his swords, telling her to give them to his kids. Look ahead, Oden, to 20 years in the future. The story hurtles towards the present day. So the chapter ends there. But man, was this a heartbreaker. Oden surviving an hour in boiling oil that's catching on fire if it's over 700 degrees Fahrenheit, mind you. His lower body is just gone. Even if he got out, he probably would never be able to walk again. Probably would be never able to do a crunch again. Then getting executed the way he did, we knew he wasn't going to survive. I knew he wasn't going to survive. And if he did, I would hope that it wasn't the way that he wouldn't just be able to come back and be like, "Oh, I'm back, guys, let me fight." No, but he was executed, and it was a heartbreaker. I didn't like Orochi before. Now I hate Orochi. Oh, so I forgot to mention this. Kaido, right before he executes Lord Oden, he apologizes for the old lady. The old lady Kuromozaki, whatever, I can't say that name right now, who had Mr. Bon Clay's fruit, who turned into Momo. He says, "I apologize for what she did in our battle. It was not right for her to interrupt like that. So not right that I killed her." So that is how the Mr. Bon Clay's fruit came back into circulation. He killed the old lady. Now all we got to do is wait for Bartolomeo's fruit to figure out how it comes back, because it's in here, and this is 20 years ago. So somehow people will die in Wano and the fruit will be reincarnated in the closest fruit. That's a video for a whole nother story. That's a story for a whole nother video. I'm sorry. This chapter has really messed me up. But anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed this chapter as much as I did. This is definitely a 10 out of 10. One of the best chapters of the year. And this should be the end of the flashback. Hope next week is not on break, so we'll get a new chapter on March 9th. So let's hope we can see what's going on with everybody. Hopefully we find out what happened with the Wano army and the army of samurai, and what's going on with Luffy and all of the other prisoners who escaped. Thank you all again for joining the stream. Hope y'all have a wonderful day.